Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Also, if you are new, welcome. Today we are doing a crazy amount of decluttering, pretty much tackling different areas of my entire home that need some decluttering and organization done. I'm also going to give you some of the best tips and tricks for decluttering, how to declutter quickly, how to get the motivation to declutter, where to start when decluttering, just everything you need to know in this new year if you are looking to create a more peaceful and easier to maintain home. All right, so all of these tips are going to work for you if you are just getting started and you are completely overwhelmed because your house is bursting at the seams with stuff, or if you are at a point of you've been decluttering for a while, but we all know it is not a one and done thing. This is something that you have to keep up with and keep going because stuff accumulates. I feel like natural for all of us that there's always stuff coming in, or your phase of life changes. So something you may have used last year, you may not be using at all this year and have no need for this year. So here's what I want you to do. Grab a pen and paper because a lot of these tips you're going to want to write down. And some of these tips I'm going to ask you to do something to get you ready to go. So first things first, and like I said, this doesn't matter if you are just getting started or you're looking to maintain, but I want you to take a piece of paper and inventory every single room of your house. So master bedroom, first bedroom, second bedroom, third bedroom, how many ever bedrooms you have, kitchen, family room, dining room, living room, whatever rooms you have. Bathroom 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter the size, but I want you to write down every single room in your house. And now you are going to figure out what works best for you when it comes to a schedule. Once again, this may vary. You may be a working mom or a stay-at-home mom or elderly with health conditions. Whatever your situation, this may look differently. So if you want to say, I'm going to tackle one room a week till my entire house is decluttered, make that a goal. Or if you need to give yourself an entire month to tackle a room, that is totally okay. But going room by room is very important so you're not getting overwhelmed by the amount of work that needs to be done. And being able to break this up makes it so much easier. It also allows you to see the progress. So when you start in an area, if you find that you have something that belongs in a different room, I want you to go just put it in that other room and not worry about it. Put it in that room and get back to what you were doing in the first room. The only time this is going to change is if it belongs in a room that you have already decluttered. Then I want you to put that item in its home so that you're not reverting back to where you were before. But otherwise, if it goes in a room that you have not touched yet, just let it be, put it in that room, and keep working in your one area.
I've been dreaming so much lately about your face when you're smiling. It's the only thing that saves me. Hey, I don't know if I told you that I think you're beautiful, and how I can't wait to hold you.
All right, and now we are going to break it down even further for you guys. So this is for if you're just getting started and you are really, really overwhelmed. Then I want you to break down the rooms even smaller. So if you have a bedroom, maybe just tackle your nightstands today and then your closet the next day, or half of your closet, because we all know some of our closets are the size of a bedroom. That might have to be considered a whole room on its own, depending on your house. but break it down even more so that you're not overwhelming yourself. And that's why I said give yourself a week to even a month, depending on your situation, to tackle one room at a time. One big thing to remember is you didn't get into this cluttered mess overnight. You're not getting out of the cluttered mess overnight, and that's okay, because in the end, if you don't declutter, you're going to be spending that time cleaning up the clutter. So either way, this time is spent. It's just trying to decide if you want the mental clarity of having a decluttered space, an easier to maintain space, and spending that time now to declutter, over deciding that you're just going to spend that time later cleaning.
You're my ticket to paradise. Hey, now everything's alright. We've been longing for each other, and it feels like I'm on cloud.
I also say this all the time, decluttering is like a muscle and it gets easier with time. If you don't have it as perfect as you want it to be the first time, do not stress out, because it does get easier. It gets so much easier to let go, and it actually becomes like therapy, a free therapy when you declutter, because the amount of mental clarity and stress relief you get when you do these projects is amazing. Now, if you're in the kitchen, one big thing I can say to declutter are those pans that came in a set that you never use. So me, I love my cast iron pan, but I really only use my big cast iron pan and my griddle cast iron. That little cast iron pan, I never touch. So I am getting rid of it, which I have had a really hard time with. It came in a set. Cast iron is amazing, but I came to realize I don't use it, so I don't need it. And someone is going to find this at the thrift store and be absolutely thrilled that they had it. Now, when you are starting in a space, we're going to break it down to, one, help with motivation, because you're going to see the progress faster, but two, also just make it easier to go through. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to grab a garbage bag, and you are going to go through that room and pick up any trash, receipts, random bags, just anything that's garbage. Anything that is garbage, get that out first before moving on. After you have gone and done all the garbage, I want you to go around and get rid of anything that takes you less than 3 seconds to decide needs to go. So these are your things that are like instant, obvious, yes, I don't need this anymore. Don't, if you're like hemming and hawing, just put it to the side for now. Just the things that you touch and you know instantly, like, yes, I don't need this anymore. I can declutter it. It's got to go.
Walking home late at night, maybe 2:30. A little drunk, but I'm alright, 'cause I've been hanging with you, and it feels like love. Tell me if I'm
All right, so we have gotten rid of the trash, and we have done our first quick, easy sweep of the space to get rid of anything that's obvious, get rid of. Now we are going to break it down a little bit more. And for this, I want you to grab either a bin or a garbage bag, whatever it may be. But I want you to take a little bit more time, and I want you to have a keep pile. I want you to have your donate pile or trash, depending on what you're looking at. And then I want you to have a maybe pile. And that's what you're going to put in a not see-through bin or garbage bag. Because sometimes the hardest part is just at what if. What ifs are the worst. I can't get rid of this because what if? So we're going to put it in either a bin, a box, a black garbage bag. And if you have not gone through that bin, bag, or box in 6 months, 3 months, give yourself what you feel is comfortable time frame, but don't make it too long. I recommend no more than 6 months. Then just get rid of it. Do not open it again. Just get rid of it, because if you haven't looked at it in 6 months, you probably don't need it.
crazy, a little crazy for you.
Another big thing to keep in mind, especially if you're someone that's like, oh, I want to sell it on Mercari or I want to do a garage sale or something like that, is I want you to think about what these items are truly worth and what you can truly get for them. Because often we have in this mind, like, I'm going to hold on to this because I want to sell it. And honestly, we hold on to it and we never get around to posting it on Facebook or Mercari or having that garage sale, and it still just sits and it's still just clutter in our house. So I want you to give yourself a price range, and this is going to vary from family to family. For me, it's usually anything under like $20. I just get rid of instantly. Like, it's one of those things of if I really need to repurchase it, it's not the end of the world if I have to go spend $20. But like I said, this could vary. For you, it may be $5. The other big thing to keep in mind is all of this can be a tax write-off. When you go to Goodwill or the Salvation Army or any of those places, you get a tax form and you write it off. A lot of people don't do this because we look for instant gratification. So garage sales, you get cash in your pocket, but often it's not nearly as much as you would be able to write it off for on your taxes as a donation receipt. So yes, you may not get the instant gratification, but I have gotten to where we don't sell anything. We donate everything, and at the end of the year, we save all of our tax forms. And even to this day, usually it's a couple $1,000s worth of things that we donate every single year, because every little box here or there that we throw in really adds up. It may not seem much at first, but it does add up over time. All right, now we were talking about money, so I'm going to talk about that a little bit more, because another big holdup I know a lot of people have is, well, I've spent this much on this and I don't want to give it away because I spent $50, $100, $200. But here's the honest truth. You've already lost that money, and it is not worth punishing yourself even more by holding on to something and letting it take up space that you could be using for something that is more efficient in your life. So don't let it hold you back. That money is already gone, and you deserve to have your space over the things in it. Also, if people have gifted you something, or maybe you gifted it to your kids, you're actually going to see a little bit later on in this video that I get rid of one of Freya's dollhouses that we got her for her birthday this year. Now, it was just a garage sale find. We love our little thrifty garage sale finds when we are looking around, but she doesn't play with it. We got her two, one big one, one little one, and she didn't play with the little one. So we are getting rid of it. She's going to be able to play and have so much more fun in her room without that playhouse taking up space, where I could be like, oh, but we just got it for her. We spent this money on it. And instead of allowing her that space in her room to really enjoy what she has and what she uses, holding on to it just because of that idea of, well, we spent the money, so we can't get rid of it. So don't let that hold you back. Don't let the idea of it was a gift from someone hold you back. There are very few people in this world that would say, well, I don't care if it's causing you stress and anxiety. I bought you that as a gift, so don't get rid of it. And if that is someone in your family, well, that is their problem and not yours. So I'm giving you permission to not listen to them and get rid of it. Most people that get you gifts get that gratification when you open it and you see it and you appreciate it in the moment. After that, they don't really care anymore, and they would much rather see you happy, especially if it came from loved ones, friends, family, anyone like that. So one rule that I love, I heard a while back, was the 90-90 rule. And this one is awesome if you are really having a hard time deciding, but it is looking at an item and thinking, have you used it in the last 90 days? And are you going to use it in the next 90 days? If both of those answers are no, that is your A-OK to donate it and get rid of it. Also, this is our 4th bedroom. You guys often do not see this bedroom, but if you follow us on our family vlog channel, we are actually finally getting into this room and we are going to be doing a makeover on it. Hopefully you'll see that next week. We'll see if our time frame adds up. But we are making over this room and finally getting it in order. It needs everything. We haven't touched it, as you can see on the wall. That wall we had put in to have our pantry done. So it is just drywall with texture on it. So it needs baseboards, it needs painting. We're doing some custom built-ins. There's just a ton going on in here, which meant I had to go through and declutter everything out of this room. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you don't have to do a huge, crazy purge on your house to declutter it. So many people feel like, oh, well, I'm only getting rid of a little bit and it's not good enough, so you don't go for it. But it doesn't take mountains and piles of decluttering for you to declutter. A little bit here and a little bit there is still progress. I always say it's about progress, not perfection, because if you focus on perfection, rarely will you get anything done. None of us in this world are perfect. You guys see me cleaning, decluttering, organizing on a regular basis, and here you can see I still have a ton of stuff that I just don't need. Things that I have either collected recently that ended up not using, or things that I have not decluttered in the past, but as I've been decluttering, I did I'm not sure, maybe I'll use it. So I held on to it. So this time around, I'm decluttering it and getting rid of it. So don't feel like you have to do a giant purge. Like I said in the beginning, your house did not get cluttered in a day. You're not going to declutter it in a day. So give yourself a realistic time frame. Remember, social media and Instagram is a lie. Everyone has a Monica closet, and we all just need to work towards making things better, not making things perfect. Now, I have said this before also, but I'm going to say it again here, especially you may be new to my channel and you're just looking for these tips and tricks to get your home decluttered. But big one, if you are waiting for spring cleaning, stop. It can be so overwhelming to try and do this just in the spring or just in the new year. It is so much easier to do little bits at a time all year round than one big spring cleaning purge or New Year's purge. So break it up. Do little bits here, little bits there. And that goes back to the beginning when I said, let's take an inventory of your house and figure out what rooms you have and break it up and give yourself realistic time limits. Because it's really easy if you give yourself these time limits and then don't hit those time limits that you're now feeling guilty because you didn't get everything done that you wanted to get done, when realistically you didn't give yourself a realistic time frame. This stuff takes time and it's not all going to happen in one go. Here you can see I'm getting rid of a lot of hair tools that I have held on to for a while because I spent money on them. And it's like, well, what if I have that special event? Well, let's be honest. All of my friends are married with kids already. the likelihood of me going to a wedding anytime soon is very unlikely because all of the people I know are married. So I don't need all these crazy fancy hair tools. Now, I still keep some because every once in a while I like to do my hair and makeup, even if it's not on a regular basis. But I don't need all of this because I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I used it. I'm also doing that with my makeup. I love makeup. Like, I don't love doing my makeup all the time. You guys know me, like 99.9% of the time, I just have maybe a tinted moisturizer on and mascara. But there's even days I don't have that. But I like having my palettes because you never know. Christmas comes around, something comes around, and I still enjoy doing my makeup in those times. However, today was the day that I decided I'm just going to take like 3 of my favorite palettes. I had one like eyeshadow palette that I really liked, and then a bronzer blush palette. I think I ended up keeping 3, and the rest I get rid of. Like most of them I didn't even open because I'm like, it's not necessary for me to even open these because a lot of these are duplicates and I grab for the same colors on a regular basis. I like those warm browns, bronzy type colors. So those were the palettes I kept. And then same with these lipsticks. I absolutely loved these, like, oh, what are they called? I cannot think of them, but they were like stay on all day type lipsticks. And I loved them, but I didn't use them ever. So I kept a couple of the glosses that I enjoyed using, mainly chapsticks, and I got rid of the rest. Now, if you've been doing this for a while and you feel yourself getting discouraged, I highly recommend taking before and after photos. It's really easy to not notice how much progress you've made because you're in the midst of it. Like, you're doing it and you're watching the slow transformation that you don't even see how far you've come. It's kind of like weight loss photos. You can be losing weight for months and you just don't see it until one day you look back at a photo and you're like, wow, this is amazing. That can be the same with decluttering and cleaning out a space. So if you take those before pictures and those after pictures, it's a great way to keep you motivated and keep you on track to reaching your goals. Now, talking about goals, that is another really big thing, is figure out what your goal is, because your goal may not be to be a minimalist. I know my goal isn't to be a minimalist, but it is to make cleaning easier, quicker, faster. When you've got kids and animals and all of these things, it can be overwhelming to do all of this. So my goal has always been, what's going to make my life easier? That's what I'm looking for. I did a couple videos back, a power hour, showing how I could clean my entire house in 1 hour. And that's huge because sometimes I only have an hour to get things done in my house. So I need to be able to do things quickly, efficiently. I also know that I get really stressed out and overwhelmed and usually not in the greatest of moods when my house is a complete disaster. All right, so this one might throw you guys through a little bit of a loop. We are talking about decluttering, and now I'm going to talk about retail therapy. But just like when you are starting off the new year wanting to work out, so you get those really cute workout clothes to get you motivated to go to the gym, I'm going to recommend the same thing with decluttering. However, I do not want you to purchase those things. But look on Pinterest, get really cute, fun ideas of how you can organize a space once it's decluttered. Make yourself a vision board, and then go to Amazon and start making a wish list. These are things that can help motivate you to declutter your space, but I highly, highly, highly recommend not buying anything until you have gone through the decluttering process, because then you're going to have a lot of time either returning things or holding on to organization items because, well, you might use them in a different area. But still having those vision boards and that wish list is going to help get you excited and motivated to declutter those spaces like your pantry or your refrigerator or your linen closet, all those different areas around your home.
And I still got you in my head from all those pretty words you said. It's like I'm wasted. Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am. It's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever.
Now, sometimes when you're decluttering, you need second eyes on your project. And this is when I recommend calling family, calling friends, and asking for help. It makes a huge difference. Even if they're not physically helping you, they're just there kind of rooting you on, talking with you, helping you think through things as you're trying to decide. It will make life a lot easier during this decluttering process if you have a friend along with you. Otherwise, make sure you have some upbeat music to get you going, a really good audiobook, or whatever it is to help keep you going as you're working through it. And sometimes as simple as a different mind trick of telling yourself, oh, this is great. I get to declutter the linen closet today and listen to my favorite podcast. Kind of trick yourself I get to enjoy my podcast while I do this. Making it into a positive, often that little mind trick is all you need. Now, I know at this point, listening to all these tips and tricks, there's a really good chance that you might be thinking about it's so much easier said than done. And I want to tell you, you are 100% right. The hardest part, though, is just getting started. So if you decide to tackle one little task today, if it is your nightstands or your junk drawer or something like that, just know you have tackled the hardest part of decluttering, because the hardest part is always just getting started. Now, if you have kids like I do, I have 3 of them. Xander here helping me strip the bed is 11. Bjorn, the one who just walked in the red, is 8. And then I was in Freya's room earlier and she is 3. But I highly, highly recommend always keeping your kids involved when it comes to decluttering. One, they're not going to feel hijacked like mom or dad just came in my room and tossed all my stuff, but also it's a really good life skill for them. So we were going through a lot of their clothes. Some of it was pretty easy. Things that don't fit do fit, but also then going through and figuring out what they just don't like anymore. It may fit them, but they never wear it. I also started making a pile. So when it comes to shirts, my boys wear the exact same size, even though different ages. So we were making piles of what Xander likes, what Bjorn likes, and then what they both like, and organizing it out that way. I was talking before about the 4th bedroom, and for now we are talking about turning it into a bedroom for Xander if he wants it. He's still on the fence. He really likes sharing a bedroom with his brother. I know I often get questions why my kids share a bedroom even though we have a 4th bedroom, and it's always been their preference. But even if he doesn't take it, we also might be having Bobby's grandmother moving in with us. So no matter what, we're turning that bedroom into either Xander's bedroom or a guest bedroom.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good what you're doing is making me feel.
Now, what shouldn't you do when decluttering? Don't start decluttering without a plan, and everyone's plan is going to look different for them. If you work outside of the house, set aside decluttering times. Not, oh, I'll get to this when I'll get to it, but give yourself a time like, I'm going to work on this small project this weekend. Also, with that plan, give yourself goals. Give yourself a reason to keep going, because I can guarantee in this process, most likely at least once, you are going to start feeling regret that you even started it because, oh my goodness, this is looking worse than before, because often it gets worse before it gets better. But if you have those goals in mind, this plan in mind, it makes it a lot easier to keep going. So figure out your goals, your why of why you want to declutter, and then set a game plan. What rooms you're going to declutter, on what days have you allotted time in your schedule to declutter. All of these things are going to keep you on track, keep you motivated, and make it a lot easier when you feel like giving up.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you're doing.
Now, I want you guys to remember decluttering, organizing, cleaning, all of these things are marathons. They're not sprints. So don't be discouraged if your home isn't looking exactly what you were hoping it would look like in a day, a week, a month, or even a year. Because depending on where you're starting, everyone's journey looks a little bit differently. But I can promise you, as you go and your stress levels decrease and your happiness is completely elevated because you're able to get so much more done and spend more time with your family because you're not worrying about the clutter, you're going to thank yourself. And I promise it gets easier. Like I said before, decluttering is a muscle, and every time you do it, it gets a little bit easier. It definitely goes a lot faster, and it's a lot less overwhelming. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.